Good evening, everybody. This is a quick evening update for August 22, 2023. Just to let you know what's happened in the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours. The biggest news is that we had an M1 flare today, and I can't find out which solar sunspot gave it to us. But here's a quick look at the disk. Oh, right. Let's go right here. How's that? That's a little bit easier. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sunspots. I'm thinking it's this one right up in here. But we can look at LASCO, and it happened at 2304, so just before the bewitching hour. And we'll look on the LASCO 2. Looks like a little boomer right there. But coming up, there it is on that side. Hold on a second. All right, so it looks like something popped over here. That might have been the newest one. There's 2300, and yeah. So it looks like there was a pop at some 2000 hours, but that's not the one that we're looking for, the M flare. It may not have launched anything at us and that we can see right now. Here's the LASCO 3. Boom, there's the big one right there. It might have let off and then popped after the fact. And so on the sun, this one 3414, this is in the area that it popped out of. So it could have happened, I don't know, on this side or this side, but it doesn't appear we have a clear image from LASCO where that M1 came from, so sorry about that. Let me get my notes over here. What's interesting, what's happening to the sun right now is at the top of the sun, and you probably have to, let me see, rotate it like that, or maybe, there you go. This side is what's popped, okay? So I'm sure that's what's going on. There's the one that's emerging has a connection to the one on the back side. So I think you can see that. Yeah, you can. So that's what's happened there. So there's a nice little video that they showed us, and but anyway, that's the nice filament. I think what happened is that thing let loose after the reports. Here's the angstrom 195, and you'll see, can't really see much on this, can you? It's not helpful. So here's the far side of the sun. So if we looked at the far side, although you have to understand, it's kind of like taken at 195 as well. Heliographic. It's like they're sensing around the corner, and they put it together from a couple of satellites. So that's how I believe that's taken. Here's the sun as well right now, and it's this one connected to this one back there, and there's a nice little filament there too. This is again at 130 angstroms, I believe, 131. So trying to give you a little bit of detail, but it's nobody knows because it just freaking happened. And let's go ahead and look at the X-ray itself, and you'll see it happened at the peak of it happened at right around 2300 hours. And it's going back down to normal right here at 200 hours the next day, which already ended tomorrow. The KP index right now is at a 2, and the predicted KP all the way out to the 22nd is very low. So they're not predicting any, wackadoodle stuff out of the sun right now. The GOES 16 satellite said it shows it right here. There's the flare, M1.1. Again, they're not showing which thing did it, it did it. You know, I showed you the sunspots already. Here's all the sunspots. I think it's 3413 that did that in flare. I was thinking about this one here, but I think from watching the blast, it looks like it's on that side. So that's good to know. This is not updated quite, much. Let me see what the start date is here. 30, 31, 21. So yeah, this is from yesterday. They won't have this flare that just popped now. We don't know if it shot off a geometric storm to us or not, but we did see some, stuff leave the sun, but we don't know where it's directed right now. This is NASA, and this one here is NOAA. Looks like NOAA starts on the 28th. It's not updated, so they're not going to they're definitely not going to have it. Here's the 22nd, 23rd. Here we are on our date now. There's nothing coming but some solar wind our way, and maybe a little bit of a, we might get some stuff happen by the 26th to the 27th, where some auroras might be visible up in the north there for sure. Looks like some geomatic activities coming in with some wind. We're just going to get clipped by something. So be aware of that. We still have a few days, about 5 days before that really picks up. It'll pick up ever so slightly. Let's see. The flare absorption that took place at 2300 hours. There's 22 right there. Right over Hawaii. All right, so bang, right there. So that flare, when that flare took off, and it's only an M11, but still charged up Hawaii and also a good portion of the West Coast. Like, we need more energy on our side, right? Well, I'm on the West Coast, so who am I to complain, right? Let's see. Already showed you the planetary conditions this morning. You can look that up on our YouTube site. If you don't have a list of that, you can find it from one of us out here. We put it in there a little bit later. The ground magnetics is virtually nil. Virtually nil. Now, ground magnetics are not indication of an earthquake, but the last, 8.2 that happened in Alaska, it looked like this. Nothing. But we had this 7.6s that are popping off all over the world here since then, and they showed. So, a lot of interesting tidbits coming at us. Again, watching that blast come out, you can see this one kind of coming at us a couple days before it gets here. And then there's that one that just let off. It's a small one, probably won't even get to us because it doesn't look like it went everywhere. No, well, there's kind of a little bit of a halo. I don't know if it shot out backwards or it shot out forwards, and I think that's what they're waiting on. There's no clear evidence because it just happened 2 hours ago, so we'll be watching for that. Solar cycle progression, you can see here the predicted values in the red. We should be somewhere like in 2020. The initial thought pattern was that it would be like in 2012, 2015. We're already superseding that. So the sunspot numbers is basically what this is the predicted value. Should be up here. We have a lot of sunspots. The solar maximum is going to be mid 2025. I've heard people say, oh, well, it's going to come early and it's going to be in 2024 or 2023 is going to be shut up. Let's let it happen and then go back and look at it. Because it doesn't matter if it happens now or it happens in a 25. We'll, look at the data after the fact. But, telling people, oh, don't worry. Well, there's nothing to worry about. I mean, it's solar cycle. It's busy time. And yet it's quiet. 8 sunspots and we don't have a whole lot. An M flare comes out of the blue. There was a very little chance of that happening. In history, right now, this day in history, 2005 had an M2.7, 98 had an M22, and 2002 had an M1.7, 2002 had an M1.5, 2002 1.5. So 2002 was pretty busy, And the geomatic storms, same 2003, 1999, 2015, 16, and 17. The higher one was in 03. That's the history of it, and the solar cycle, and what's happening with the sun right now. Now, this is today's view. Whoop, sorry about it. This is today's view of 162 tremors. Remember, yesterday it had 0. Now there's 162. Is this due to the storm? Well, the storm didn't go up the coast. The storm went through here. It went up through the desert. It's the desert that took the brunt of the storm. And yes, it was just a tropical storm, not a freaking big deal. It was a nothing burger. Did it do damage? Sure. Because people weren't planned, and it didn't. People who made cities or where they sold a bunch of homes next to a riverbed. They didn't think it was going to overflow, so they didn't bother to dig it down and dig a trench so it would stay in there. In fact, it rolled over and it went through the fence line, and it came up about 2 feet in a bunch of homes out there in in the desert in California here. I haven't heard any damage in Idaho or Montana or Nevada yet, but I did hear that it went through Nevada, and lots of water, rain, and stuff like that. The other storm that hit Texas today, we got a new one out here. All right, new possibility disturbance out here in the Eastern Pacific. In the Atlantic, this Harold came ashore. Lots of rain, lots of flooding, right at Corpus Christi. Well, when you're talking about Corpus Christi, you know what I'm thinking. And look at Franklin. Yeah. Right here to right here. Almost. See, when it gets to here, it's going to be on that liniment. Yeah, the Texas liniment. Texas liniment's activated. I'm telling you, it's activated. 10% chance on this storm. 30% on this one. Franklin's already a tropical storm, pushing at 40. Right now, the Depression Harold is at 35 because it's over land. Yep. And the East Central Pacific, there's nada. This one here is a 30% chance, so you can look at that. Oh yeah, there's some stuff. I wonder where they think that's gonna go. Huh? Is it gonna come up the coast again? You can see Harold right there over Texas, over West Texas, heading right where? Right into Cali. Well, back door, Get that all in, and I'm gonna let that. I'll let that one go. No. I'll just let that go. There you go. You can see that one. Boom. All right. Let's see. What else can we do? The buoys. There's nothing going on in the buoys. Yellowstone. There's nothing happening. In the volcano news, to keep you up to date, Nevada del Ruiz. Nothing's happening. We're already looking into tomorrow for that. So today, they already closed out today. Ebico was popping. I think we're at 15,000 feet. Ebico is right up here, right? Yeah. No, not there. On Kamchatka, up on this side. And 15,000. Dimpo volcano, Sumatra, Indonesia. Short-lived violent explosion happened yesterday morning. Yeah. It didn't pop very high, but look at that. Boom. Violent. Kind of funny how it's split in two right there, huh? Look at that. Like there's like, what does Tom Hanks say? There's like this cloud right between my brain. Joe in a volcano, you know. All right. Nevada, because somebody put that in his head to go kill himself. Nevada del Ruiz, nothing happening. Orangutan still popping 18,000 feet out of orangutan. That's pretty significant, actually. It's a 5,800 foot mountain, and it's on the teardrop in over here. Yeah, you can see right there. Even there's an earthquake near it. We're right here. Orangutan's right there. And look at here. We had an earthquake real close to it. This happened at 11:37 today. UTC, that is. So you add or subtract 7 hours. Whatever. Four and a half. Yeah. So I don't know if they're related to the orangutan here. Here's the earthquake happened up here, so pretty good little popper though. 18,000, 10,000 foot pop near 7,000 foot. Yeah, 7,000 foot pop. Yeah, orangutan, bam. Urbinas down there in Peru. 2 volcanic alerts issued yesterday because it did something. Like, oh, and then they're going, oh, okay, we'll just mellow out. Oh, is it gonna come and go? Yeah, and volcanoes are scary, man. So yeah, Urbinas, 23,000. It's an 18,000 foot mountain going to 23. That's like an ash popper. Okay, it's popping up ash, near 5,000 foot, about a mile high. Sabancaya, right next to it, 22,000. It's a 19,000 foot mountain. So it's a 3,000 foot popper. So that in the armpit of South America, as I zoom out and come back in here. Well, shit, honey. Right there. All right. So Sabancaya and Urbinas is right up in here. This is Peru. This is Chile. So Chile's got an earthquake. How odd is it that South America is quiet? I mean, generally speaking, Potasi's popping all the time. Juji, Salta, constantly. Antofagasta, Tarapanca, Iquique, Antofagasta, yeah. Atacama, Valparaiso, Santiago, out here in La Roja, in Argentina. Yet there's nothing. It's like the world has gone quiet. Yet over here on the Fiji side, we got just north of Fiji, we had a 4.3 at 439 depth at 1439 today. Then we had another one at prior to the other one, 1305 today, and it's a 4.4 at 467. So 467 and 439, real close to the same depth. This one happened, then that one happened. That would suggest that there's pressure moving that way, but it also moves the other way. So what time is this one? This one happens at 2218. So that one took a little bit of time to come down, and this one about 7 hours. And we also had this one over here, which started the whole ball of rolling right there to Kermitix at 4.9. This one here was a 4.6. Now over here in the trench, over Tonga had a 4.7. That happened at 2024. So, 1439, about a few hours later. So we got boom, 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 boom. Interesting. And then we had over here Vanuatu at 11:43 in the middle of all this noise, 4.5. A couple of little Papua New Guineas, 4.2 and a 4.4, right at the bewitching hour last night, about 15 hours apart. Hold on a sec. And then we saw this one already, the 4.5. That happened at 11:37 UT. Really? And then the Japan one we talked about this morning, 4.7 at 8. And we have the China ones at 1409 and 1146, 4.8 and 4.2. And then this is the new one. Azerbaijan came in at 1423 today, probably just when we closed up. Yeah, 4.8. So we were watching the pressure come this way. Remember how the stands were arguing yesterday? I said, look over here, and then it come out this way. Sure enough, it hit just on the other side of the Caspian Sea. And also Turkey came in at 317, well before that one. So this is the pressure waves still working their waves through. So there's 4.7, 4.8 power moving through Turkey. Now we look where it's going to go. Well, this one took us such a dive. I'm guessing maybe this part of Izmir or Taurus or down by Cyprus, maybe Crete, maybe the backside of Greece. I'll be looking for something to happen. In the low 4 range, probably 4.5 or 3 over the next 12 hours. In the North America, that is, we have Alaska just ping along as normal. The volcanoes out there in Adak, Alaska, and Ataka, Alaska. Up here in the Rabbit's Butt, 3.8 and 3.8. So the Rat Islands had a couple little bangers. And it's small, they're 3s, and working their way up, right up there through Denali and out the backside. Moving on up. Interesting how we do now see a line of activity coming out of Anchorage all the way down, moving their way down into this area over here in Yucatan and towards Juneau. So we should take a look at the Canadians because the USGS does not report those up there on their list. And we'll see what's going on. Now, this is the last 30 days. So we want to look at just the orange ones. So we've seen in the USGS, they stop right up in here, right? So we should look at Canada, and which I think is right up in there too. So look at the orange ones. Well, there's a couple of days ago, there was a 3.5, and that's the largest one. The other ones were much older, and we had one out here too, in fact, 3.8 that happened on the 17th. This larger one, 4.4, happened on the 27th last month, and the 5.2, which is the largest one, happened in August 6th. So that pressure was interesting because it didn't really produce anything. And then Haida Gwaii goes, relatively quiet. And as you can see, there's nothing down here quiet. And Queen Charlotte Sound is quiet. And that's what's showing here. Here's Haida Gwaii right here. A few oranges, right? They're all real small. There's a brand new one right there in the middle of Haida Gwaii. And over here and here and here, a couple little vibrations. And there's another few reds right out here. So that moving on down, that's been happening. Also right into where Silesia is and Vancouver. The greatest area that gets these earthquakes, it comes here, stops, goes across into Vancouver Island, and comes down into Washington. And whether or not it's on the northern side of what's that volcano named? When it hits the Glacier Peak, it'll stay and go into the interior side of the United States. But if it goes to the south side and it stays north of Rainier, it'll go to the middle section and come down. But if it's to the left and it comes down the coast, then it goes through the Cascades, and we're going to see vibrations happen there. It's kind of funky how you can see earthquakes kind of move this way, go to the park, kind of come this way, move into Idaho, and then kind of come down the coast. There's a trend, and that's the same kind of thing happening up here. Normally we don't see these right here. These are little smallies, but still. Normally we see all that pressure moving on up. So that suggests that this plate is being pushed underneath, like we all know. Anchorage and right out here in Valdez, right, Prince William Sound, that's where the big 1964 quake happened. And then over here, we've been watching New Brunswick, Canada guy in Yakutak and myself watching these two areas for something to happen. And all the way down to this strike slip. And this strike slip is, we can look at it down here. You can see right up in here, right? That's a strike slip. And the purple is compression. And then the blue is subduction. The red is a spreading area. So everywhere there's a green, that's a strike slip. It's like two plates sliding side by side each other. And the red is where it's actually coming out from the bottom, the thinning of the plate, where magma pushes out in both directions. It's the East Pacific rise that's up here that's been broken up, coming apart. When North America moved across, it moved that subduction from over here to over there, and it just kept moving it, and soon this will be underneath. But depends on how fast the 69 versus 24. There's a good chance this will get up here and go down there before this gets over it. We don't know. Depends on how far that is. I suppose we can do the numbers and determine whether or not this Juan de Fuca part will go right here or will it go right there. There's a good chance that this subduction zone may move north. I don't know if there's any evidence for or against that. It's a transition zone right through here. As you see, compression up here where the plates are coming together, and then here's the subduction. Because this plate's only moving in that direction. It's not moving directly north, but parts of the plate, which are over here, are moving right up in there. So, and then you got North America coming up over the top. So, hey, interesting. So much to kind of watch and learn and glean. So today in North America here, we had some good pounding right down here in the Pecos. That hurricane, it was a tropical storm, right here over Austin, actually a little bit west of San Antonio. So you draw the line straight through here to here to here to here to here, and it comes right up in this. That's the Texas liniment. That's a magnetic line in my definition. I don't know what the other definitions are, but in mine it's magnetic. There's an attraction of some sort. The reason why there's earthquakes are happening along that. There's rifts. There's spreading zones along that line. And it's funny how that storm is following it when West Texas has been so very active. Is it just from them pumping the poop down there and creating the oil to come out, or the gas to come out, or the thermal, whatever? I don't even know if there's any thermal down there in West Texas, but they're pumping stuff down there, and we know that because we've looked at it. Trying to get the oil out, fracking, tons and tons of fracking. There's a lot of very old wells out there as well, from the early turn of the 20th century, all through Texas there. And some of them are sealed, and some of them need to get resealed for some reason. But we're watching that over here in the West Coast. Interesting how we've got Mammoth right here, right? And the big supervolcano that everybody's afraid of, the Bishop supervolcano. Interesting where that came from. I'd like to see where that came from, but maybe it's an anomaly and it just happened. You see the line of quakes coming across. Interesting, huh? Yeah. Also, we see a couple here in just outside Ridgecrest. The 5.2 that came through North America over the weekend that everybody's talking about, it's the end of the world, happened right here. And, right now in that area, there's 28 earthquakes today, just outside of Ojai, north of Santa Paula and Fillmore. Carpinteria, Montecito, Santa Barbara's right here. Is this an indication of something larger? I'm not sure. But we have a new quake here on the San Andreas, a little 1.2. And then one also 0.7 in the Anza Gap. Interesting how San Fernando had a 1.1, and they're calling it Silmar. A 1.2 in Caltech, Pasadena. And then all these up here. If you follow that trend, that's Santa Barbara, Solvang, and Santa Maria is right here. I have a feeling that Santa Maria is maybe this region's gonna a little bit. But we see the Coalinga as well, super activated. Odd. This is one of the area right here where they say, oh, it just slides, and it's because it's really viscous and it's got talcum powder in there, and it just slides and it doesn't create earthquakes. Well, I beg to differ, because the Tehachapi quake, I don't know what, 1852 or whatever, happened right there. 1872, one of those in 1800s. Also in 1952, somewhere up there. Big earthquakes happen right here. And is the pressure building up? Could be. We see a lot along the fault here, the San Andreas. Also in the here, let me show you here. Boom, boom, boom. U.S. faults right here. See if I can get it to pop up for you. And sometimes the USGS doesn't like it, but hey, the Calaveras fault is what it is. And it splits into two, and it goes along this line here up through Devil's Mountain, or Mount Diablo. And the green fault goes across here, and then all of this stuff ends up on this side in the Napa Valley region, and heads right into the volcano, Clear Lake volcano, which is where they're putting all the crap down in the ground. And you see we just had a couple little more earthquakes. These are common quakes because they shoot the shit down there, and the shit burns up and creates steam. Stinky steam, but they create steam, and they want to kill cows. You can't eat the steam, right? Come on. Yeah, you're getting rid of the poop, but come on now. Gotta eat the cows, right? Domesticated thing, But I still haven't seen anything up here in Eureka. So I'm still, I missed it here, but I got it down here. I got to call the 5 is, it's lower than what I was anticipating. I call it a 5.5 to a 6.3. Same thing up here, but it may happen by Wednesday, something strong up in here, but we won't know. And let's see, Hawaii's still bouncing around, and right now don't see much of anything in Hawaii, Africa and all that stuff. Here's Hawaii down here on the bottom right, still little bumps, boom, 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 boom. We'll see. And somebody answer that phone. Anyway, well, let's see, is there anything else? COD, let's check it out. Apologize for that. Here we are. We have it through West Texas. You can see the storm moving through here, and yeah, lots of monsoonal moisture here on the west. New stuff coming in here to cool stuff. Also clear up a lot of that smoke that's coming out of Canada from all the fires. Which, if you haven't seen the fires, man, there's a lot of fires. Look at all the fires. Oh my gosh. That was the 24 hours. This is the 12 hours. Just an amazing amount of fires. Here's the big fault system that's not happening there. So, but we see something out here happening. And we'll deal with that. Edit that out. lots of Canada stuff up here. And look at what's happening here. Fires around this section, the Four Corners. Northern California's beefed up. I mean, from Trinity Forest all the way over. Lots of lightning starting these fires. Oregon has calmed down a little bit. It was really bad, and then it's calmed down just a hair. That's good. Good for them. I talked to Oregon. She's out here somewhere around Salem. She's fine. Bart, some of you know her as Bart. I know her as Oregon. I know her real name too. I spoke to her yesterday quite some time, and she's doing well. Family's doing well, if you want to know. Yes, we do get to know each other here on JSL. We're family, and we pray for each other, and try to assist everybody in what's going on. And let's see. Yeah, funky fire out here in the desert. But this thing around here, this mess, I don't think there's a whole lot of understanding. I'd like to get some more understanding of the Utah topology, the Colorado topology, New Mexico, and Arizona. Learned another guy who does a lot of studying out here in the Mojave, which is real interest of mine. Yeah, so crazy. Still waiting for Canuck to give us a heads up on what he was watching today regarding the fires up there in Canada. I think the complaint is that they put the money in one place but didn't make a plane. They hired a bunch of firemen, but they didn't make a plane. The plane puts the fires out because they can drop a lot of water or drop a lot of Phosgene or whatever. But they didn't buy any planes. Takes 3 guys to fly a plane, maybe 10 guys at most. That's probably why. It's about money. Yeah. Come out the closet, steal all the money. Maybe he's going to go to jail. Who knows? Yeah, that's enough politics. Anyway, that's the evening report. If you have anything you'd like to add, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll put it out there. And big hugs. We'll see you in the morning. Don't get none on you.